Welcome back, everybody, to the Last Mag Podcast. I'm your host, Primal. In today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the matches that happened this past weekend, and we're going to do match predictions for week 4 of 6 of the Call of Duty League online qualifiers before we go to Birmingham DreamHack for Major 2. So, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, drop a sub on the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you have notifications turned on. I greatly appreciate it, and let's crack on into things. So starting off, Boston Breach versus Ravens. This one was a gritty series. So Carolina, they steal maps 2, 4, and 5 away from Breach, and I seriously thought Breach was going to get done with a convincing 3-0. Map 2 did go to game 5. Not game 5. Map 2 did go to round 11. So that was a absolute banger to watch and definitely worth watching if you guys haven't already. So FaZe versus Falcons. Let's talk about this one. FaZe, they just look lost. Nothing really to talk about. Masterclass really by the Falcons. GG's to them. They move on. FaZe, as I said in yesterday's episode, they are lost in sauce, smoking something over there and not making the conversions and stuff proper. Now, Cloud9 versus Jailmates. Cloud9 get done in a game 5. This one blew my mind. Like, I never thought Cloud9 was going to come out and win this one. So, yeah. And G2 versus Falcons. This did go game 5. I forget if it was round 11 or not. But it did go game 5, and I thought Falcons were going to be able to clutch up. But I should have kept my prediction of G2, really. But I did change some predictions just because I was rewatching and thinking and was in a Discord call with some friends, and they were like, who also watched CDL, and they were calling for certain upsets, but should just stuck with my guns. Yeah, this was also my worst week I went 5-6. Worst week of my entire podcasting career, plus pick'ems. Like, I've never had a worse week other than this one before. Next major upset was Koi over Heretics. I should have realized with the Kipson team it was going to be honeymoon Kips phase time. Yep. Next, Carolina, they just beat up poor old Surge. Surge, they made that roster change that I mentioned yesterday and brought in Capsidol for Abe. Thieves, I did get OpTic versus Thieves, I did get correct. I don't know why my matches aren't registering. Hang on a second. And let's crack on in Sunday. So Jailmates versus Koi. Koi did get the upset over Jailmates. I believe it was a hot 3-0 by Koi, or was it game 5? I forget. But either which way, Koi did beat the pants off of Jailmates. Breach phase came out, 100-point club, Breach on map 1, and then Breach ran away with maps 2, 3, and 4. Nothing really talked about in that one. Cloud9 versus Heretics. This was a 3-0 slammage. Positive by yeah, it was a 3-0 slammage and a 3-0 slammage of OpTic versus Surge. So, yeah. All right. Now on to week 4 predictions. This one is going to be gritty. I definitely am going to go with Surge. I'm going to say it goes game 5. And I cannot put my faith in FaZe. It's like, I'm sorry guys, but you guys have not shown me that you guys can even compete. It's like you got Thieves and you got OpTic. And I'm sorry, but you guys just, no. No. Now, I've got Thieves taking it in game 4. I could see FaZe maybe taking a search or maybe first hard point, maybe. I'm not sure. But G2 versus Heretics, this goes definitely game 5. I have more faith in Heretics. Ooh. G2 is predicted more favored was. Huh. Now, G2 versus Gelmates, these G2 plays back-back closing and opening matches. I'm going to go with Gelmates. I'll say game 5. Yep. I'll say game 5 because G2 might be able to steal some maps. Now, OpTic versus FaZe. I'm going to go OpTic. I'll give FaZe 1 map, but I don't have faith in FaZe. If they prove me wrong, I will lose my mind. It's like I want to go with FaZe, but just based on how they've been playing and performing, they just cannot prove it to me that they can hang with the big dogs. Now, Riyadh Falcons versus Koi. I'm going to go with Koi over Riyadh. I'm going to say it goes to... If it goes game 5, I still got Koi, but if it's 4, I still have Falcons. Now, Breach versus Cloud9. I'm going to go with Breach because Spart's been performing godlike. I'll say 3-1. Maybe Cloud9 takes a map. But I still don't see him winning. Moving on to Sunday. Thieves versus Heretics. I'm going to go with Thieves. I'll give Heretics 1 map. Maybe Heretics, but we'll see. Now, Boston Breach versus Koi. This is where things get dicey because Breach and Koi were in agreement and trying to trade nasty and stuff in clinics and insights. So, a bit of a grudge match between these two orgs because the teams were trying to trade and stuff. I'm going to go with Breach. Oh, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to go with Koi then. Koi, they bop Breach in game 5. I could even see him being at 3-1. 3-2 or 3-1, but I doubt 3-0. Now, OpTic versus Carolina. I'm going to go with OpTic. I will give Carolina 1 map. And finally, Gelmates versus Surge. I'm going to say 3-1, maybe Surge steal map, but that is going to be the end of my pick'ems for week 4. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out. Sorry if I talked fast.